Why does a cartoon have to be straight? Maybe it could be very angular. And it's a cartoon. Maybe it could be triangle shaped, because maybe this particular individual isn't all that smart. And one of the ways we show that is by making the top of the head small. An intelligent cartoon has a very large head and a small face. One that's not so sharp has mostly a big jaw, and these are prejudiced kinds of things, but they're the things we think about. And here's your Saturday Night Wrestler. So a very important thing in beginning to develop cartoons is to take basic shapes, simple shapes, and begin to work with them and see what combinations. Flip it around. Let's make the top, just take the same shape, the same character, turn him around. And how totally different it is just by flipping this shape around and changing where we exaggerate and put the various features. Alright, so what I want you to play with is, we're drawing, what are we doing? Line. Remember? Line. Line is the first element in drawing. You've been working with line ever since the first time you picked up a pencil or a pen or a crayon and made a mark. And something that some of you are also familiar with, and I like to talk about with line, is numbers. And it's interesting what you can do with numbers. You know, a lot of people just, you kind of do it really quick, but numbers can really be quite attractive. And so again, taking the sketching pencil, and you can look at examples, but a traditional one has a little top, has a straight line. Rather than take the time to sharpen, I'm going to grab another pencil with a base. A 2 has a very nice curve to it like this, and then the base has a curve like this. Look at our basic half circle, or almost an S shape here, the letter 3. Or the number 3. 4. So you can get quite a bit of character just, and it's nice practice even working with letters, or numbers, excuse me. A 6. A 7. And again, to get the feeling, you can start really exaggerating. Here's a 2. So things that you're familiar with. This is drawing. Same full arm, same rhythm, basic shapes. Now with numbers, we've added more straight lines. So really with numbers, we do have circles, half circles, S shapes, but we also have straight lines that make up the basic elements of an alphabet. But again, alright, we talked about looking for sources of things to make cartoons. Let's say that I take the number 3 and I'm going to flip the number 3. And I'm going to make this a cartoon. And what I might see is, you know what, this little guy here has an eye here, and here's the other eye over here. I can see a little bit of it. This, of course, is going to be his nose right here. Alright? And we're going to make another smile. Okay, here's a smile. See part of his nostril over there. Okay, this is his big, bold chin. So part of what I'm trying to show you is by taking different objects you're used to playing with him a little bit, we'll give him a butch, and he needs an ear. Letter 3, number 3, all right, becomes a cartoon face. So again, part of the characteristic of cartooning is the sketching thing and taking things that you're familiar with, making a light sketch, and then seeing what you can develop. Let's see, let's play with, let's take the number 8. And I'm going to take and make the top of the 8 smaller, the bottom of the 8 a little bigger. It's kind of a traditional 8. Okay, and it can be, look, there's S shapes in here as well as circles that I'm working with. And, you know, I can be, okay, what can I see there? This could be the mouth area, this could be the nose maybe, you know, or maybe this could be a giant nose. It depends on kind of what you want to see. So what I might do is, if I see this as the mouth, maybe because it's such a big circle, the person or the cartoon is yelling. So maybe what I want to do is come in and sketch a mouth that looks like it's really yelling. All right, see that? Ah, maybe singing a Christmas carol. And because he's singing so loud, his head is tilted back, so his eyes are actually going to be right here. And I was going to sketch in the circles for his eyes, and he's looking up and just singing away to the top of his lungs. All right, just having a grand old time. Maybe I can come back and put a little nostril in here to give that more of a nose look. I might even want to go ahead and put a few teeth, tongue. So this guy's just singing away. Started with a number 8. All right, and maybe I could put some hair on him. I don't know. So I just make some little jagged lines and see what happens. So part of what I'm trying to do is get you to see that we're working with line. Line is the first element, the first tool of art. When you're working with a subject matter, think maybe in advance of what it is you want to try to draw, like we did the frog. What are the basic parts? You can make a real cartoon. Another way to approach it is to come up with just a pages and pages of noses and eyes and mouths, shapes of heads, you know, different things. What we're doing is we're searching or we're experimenting to find subject matter to create a cartoon from. And that's the real key. You don't just sit down and make a character. You sit down and experiment. Maybe the head would be really big or smaller instead of a perfect square. Maybe this is a person that just says no to everything. You know, I'm looking at this. So if it's a person that just says no to everything, what might be the idea is to come back and sketch it into an octagon, which represents a stop sign. And we beginning to develop a character that's saying something very specific because it's a symbol of something we all recognize as well as a basic shape. But you're just playing with ideas to seeing what can develop. Or take something that you've used all your life, like numbers, and take them from simple, quick scribbles to really looking at the flow and shape, again, same basic shapes that we're using in cartooning, and then say, okay, could these be subjects for cartoon faces? We took the 3, flipped the 3 around, so here's our 3, and saw it as a nose, a big jaw, and put some eyes and nose to get a nice face. Here was the number 8 that we worked with to get some different shapes. So in review, what I want to do this week, we worked a little cartooning. Anybody can draw, anybody can make cartoons. It takes a simple pencil, a simple line drawing, and a piece of paper. Remember the techniques. Hold your pencil correctly, work lightly, think of the rhythm and the flow. Let what happens on your paper suggest to you what can happen next, all right, because you're working. Cartooning, and an important cartooning, is exaggeration, all right? Now, like for instance, if you're just looking at me right now with my beard, it's really easy to see that because my beard's pretty full, a cartoon with a big exaggerated beard and kind of a rounded head, and maybe just glasses, might be a really good cartoon of me. All right? So that's the kind of thing that you begin to play with. The other thing that I mentioned, and back in the beginning when I was working on this first